Welcome to the Coaches Show.
Good morning, America. Today, thousands of our teammates will make and deliver over 300 of the world's best brands and flavors, locally, in towns large and small. From the heartland to the coast, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling.
Inside the lounge here at historic Moore Gymnasium, Spencer Turkin, the voice of North Carolina A&T men's basketball, joining you for the A&T Coaches Show with the head coach, Monte Ross. We're excited to begin our first season of the men's basketball Coaches Show with you here. North Carolina A&T currently sitting at 3-5 on the campaign, and getting ready to host crosstown rival UNCG tomorrow at the Corbett Sports Center. It has been quite the beginning of the year. A lot of tight games so far for the Aggies. A couple of big-time wins, including one against HBCU rival Morgan State at Corbett Sports Center. So the Aggies with a solid start to the season, a lot of new faces, and we're excited to introduce you to some of those faces. We'll help you get to know the coaching staff a little bit more and what makes this program continue to tick here on campus. Later on in the show, we're going to hear from the head coach, Monte Ross, as he gives you his thoughts on the beginning of the season so far and what's to come. We'll check in with one of our student athletes. Nikos Hii is in the house, and he is going to discuss his tenure here at North Carolina A&T so far. And assistant coach Dorian Long is also in the building. We're going to learn a little bit about what it takes to get ready for a game against a non-conference opponent, a conference opponent, and what life is like out on the road for recruiting purposes. But taking a look so far at how North Carolina A&T has fared, the Aggies opened up the season against Cheney University of Pennsylvania, a Division II HBCU, and came out and was on fire in that one, took care of business against Cheney, went on the road over to Forsyth County, dropped a tight one to Wake Forest, our ACC rival here in the Triad, and then went on the road and had a tough showing at George Washington. The Aggies were in that game for most of it, a late run from A&T, almost able to get over the hump, but just could not come away with that road W against an A-10 foe. And then 2 straight wins against the Citadel on the road, a really tough place to play when you're talking about teams in that SoCon where it's pretty much all basketball for a lot of those schools. And so the Aggies getting a really tough road win down in Charleston, and then welcoming Morgan State back here. A&T then went on the road to Buffalo, dropped a heartbreaker along with ECU, and then Hampton to begin conference play with that early conference game in December. A&T banged up a little bit. Not really the time that you're hoping for a conference game, but that's the way the schedule was dealt, and so A&T will be trying to come out of a slight hole as conference play begins full-time in January. In the meantime, UNCG, Virginia Tech, Liberty, Coastal Carolina, the University of Arkansas, and North Carolina Central to round out the non-conference, and that North Carolina Central matchup on CBS, not CBS Sports Network, on CBS as part of a nationally televised HBCU doubleheader. So we're excited to be a part of that as well. One of those new guys that you've seen a lot in these first 8 games is Ryan Forrest. He's the team's leading scorer right now. He's a guy that can shoot the ball from anywhere, can find the cup, is able to drive himself to the hole and get himself to the free throw line. We're going to hear what makes him such a tough guard in the league and what can make him a special player come CAA time. Coming up next, we'll hear from the head coach, Monte Ross, as he joins us to discuss the first 8 games of the campaign and what lies ahead for his blue and gold squad. We're back after this on the A&T Men's Basketball Coaches Show.
Stay tuned. The Coaches Show will be back after these messages.
Using these type of cleansers could be damaging and stripping your skin. I use new Olay cleansing melts every day. Just soak, activate, and wash to clean, tone, and refresh. That's a 3 times better clean. Olay.
6,000 universities. Why choose North Carolina A&T? We graduate more African American students in engineering, journalism, liberal arts, and agriculture than any other campus anywhere, period. Our grads earn more right out of school than all but one other university system peer. And 96% of Aggie alums say they wish they can do it all over again. Can you feel the pride? You will. A&T. Always doing, never done.
Good morning, America. Today, thousands of our teammates will make and deliver over 300 of the world's best brands and flavors, locally, in towns large and small. From the heartland to the coast, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling. We share a passion and a purpose. We love to refresh and serve our communities. We're Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
Vice President Kamala Harris is bringing the Fight for Our Freedoms college tour to North Carolina A&T State University today.
Why A&T specifically?
The history and legacy of a people is 400 years of oppression.
We have always been able to adjust and adapt to whatever is thrown at us. And I think that just speaks to the resilience of our community.
You did it, Aggies!
Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to more Gymnasium. Spencer Turkin now joined by A&T men's basketball head coach Monte Ross as we take a look back at the first 8 games of the campaign. Coach, you started the season, a lot of expectations around your ball club. It seemed like you were able to reload. You kept your core group of guys from last year. You were able to build around them. How excited were you to take the floor with this team and to really get to see them actually play in game action?
No, very excited because, like you said, we were able to get some added pieces to the puzzle. We were able to keep our core together from last season, and I thought the pieces that we added were vital pieces. And I think, moving forward, like these guys got used to playing together in practice. Well, there's another step. Games come along. Now you got to get used to playing with each other in games. There's going to be another step. Conference play is going to come along. You got to get used. So those are all steps that we're taking and have to take. It's all part of the process. But like you said, I'm excited about where we are, where we could be, but most importantly, where we're going. And I'm a guy that's the glass is always half full. Last year this time we were 0-8. You know what I mean? So we're that's significant progress for us, and so we had to keep going.
With the new style of college basketball, and what I mean by that is the NIL, the transfer portal, free agency during the offseason, do you feel like you have 2 different jobs now? You're a general manager during the offseason, and then you're finally able to kind of shut that down and go back to being a coach during the season?
Well, what's funny? It's general manager, it's a capologist, it's a psychologist. It's a whole lot of different hats that you have to wear. But, it's demanding. It's time-consuming. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. And I wouldn't want to be doing it at any other place. The players here, the kids here, the students here are just special. It's a special place to be at A&T. And I'm enjoying this new venture, like you said, the general manager, capologist, all those type things. The psychologist part, that's not new. Yeah. That's been for the last 30 years that I've been doing it. But the capologist and the general manager are new. And I'm enjoying finding what I like to call our Aggie niche. You know, how do we play in this space, this new space that college basketball and college athletics is going to in general? How can we play in that space and then learn how to be successful in that space? It's a fun undertaking.
Well, a niche that this team has is you seem to be able to import from Greece. You've got 2 Greek players on your squad, Nikos Hii and Stratos Kalliantzis. Is this the most international flair that you've had on a roster in your head coaching career?
Yes, absolutely. And it's not good enough to just have them. They are productive. Yeah. You know what I mean? So they're not just good to look at on the roster and when you look down the roster or see them on the bench or when we're walking through the airport and that sort of thing. It's good that we put them out there and they're productive. And you know, I think Nikos has probably been our most consistent player this year. He's playing with a renewed sense of confidence. And like we were talking about on air, it probably started, in my eyes, last year in that College of Charleston game where I thought he really, really played well. And he's just continued that for the rest of the season last year. And then this year, he's taken it up a notch, which is really, really good to see.
So let's take a couple steps back here. You're an HBCU grad yourself from down the road. Mm-hmm. You're now coaching at your second stop as a head coach, but you're at another HBCU. What is it like for you to be back at the same type of institution that you went to as a student athlete and to be able to provide some of those life lessons that you've learned, taken from your HBCU, and can now apply them here for your student athletes?
It's funny. You can't put a price tag on it. You really can't. I probably can't aptly put it in words either, how big of a deal it is to me and how much it means to me. And it's funny, I was having a conversation yesterday with a gentleman, and I was talking to him about, it's not just the student athletes, it's the grad assistants, it's the managers on the team, it's all those people that I have an opportunity to interact with. And it's different for me now. I'm old or older, so I think I'm imparting wisdom to them, and that's okay. That's okay. I accept that I am older now. I'm older than I was, obviously, with my first 10 years of being a head coach, and now, but it's just different for me now. It's different for me now in this way, where at Delaware, to me, it was all about winning. All right, what do we have to do to win? What do we have to do to win? Now, for me, it's about winning, but it's not all about winning. It's about how can I, and I tried to do this at Delaware, but it's just a renewed spirit in me. How can I affect the lives of these young people even more than I ever have? One, because it's important to me. Two, because they need it even more than we've ever had. With everything going on with them, with social media, with all the trappings and distractions that they have, just trying to be a beacon of hope, a beacon of light for them every single day is oh so important to me. And then when you say doing it at HBCU, doing it at a type of institution like North Carolina A&T, me, myself, having grown at Winston-Salem State at an HBCU, I understand the importance of it. And one of the things I used to say when I was at Winston-Salem, and the same is true here for North Carolina A&T, this is a type of place, and HBCUs in general are the type of place where when you're in the cafeteria line and you sneeze, well, that next day, that cafeteria lady may bring you some soup because she heard you sneeze and saw that you're sick. When you're in class and, you know, the professor sees that you're having a difficult time, and maybe you got an A on the test, but from that professor's interaction with you sees that something is just a little awry, well, they take a keen interest in you. The other people on campus, I've always felt at Winston, I feel the same way, like it's not a crab in a barrel mentality. It's almost like a rising tide floats all boats. Let's all push each other to be the best that we can be. And nothing excites me more. Nothing keeps me up at night with any more importance than making A&T the class of the CAA. That's what excites me, and that's the road that we're on. That's what we're going to get to, and that's what drives me every single day.
And I can tell you that Coach really does live by that, because even in our pregame discussions before we're on the air, Coach is providing me with advice and helping me with stuff. So he really does try and help everybody that's connected with the program and connected to A&T.
Just means I'm old.
Let's take a little stroll down memory lane here. Your first 8 games so far under the belt. Your thoughts on the way your team has played, some highs, some lows, some in-betweens. Your general thoughts on the season so far and what you've really liked out of your squad.
Well, in general, I think obviously, one of the things that's come about is that we can score the basketball. We can score the basketball. We were averaging 80 points a game, and I really like that part of it. I like the fact that it's a challenge in terms of getting these guys to learn each other, know each other, play with each other. That's a challenge, and that's going to be a challenge that we probably won't get to where I'm totally comfortable with probably until January, until league play starts. So we're using all these games in the non-conference to strengthen those things. Now, we've had most games, we've had an opportunity to get to our average of 80 points a game, but Wake Forest we didn't. But I still liked our energy, and each guy is in a different role this year. Even if you weren't here last year, for instance, let's take Jonathan Lamuth, a transfer from Maryland. Well, Jonathan has been in some very important situations for us this year. It's all new to him because he didn't really play at Maryland last year. Ryan Forrest has been in some very important situations for us this year. It's all new to him because he played maybe 7-8 games at Northwestern State last year. So these are all situations that are new to these young people, and unfortunately, they have to go through them, and when they go through them, it's new, so sometimes you experience failure before you learn how to experience success. One of my things is we always say teams have to learn how not to lose before they learn how to win. And that's the mode that we're in right now, learning how not to lose, making sure that we're just putting ourselves in position. And we've done that for the most part, put ourselves in position to win. Now we have to do what it takes to actually cross that finish line and win.
Coach, we're going to check back in with you a little bit later on in the program as we start to preview the UNCG game tomorrow and take a look at the rest of the non-conference slate. But coming up here in the A&T Coaches Show, we'll hear from assistant coach Dorian Long. But next, it's Nikos Hii. He joins the program right here in Moore Gym on the A&T Men's Basketball Coaches Show.
Stay tuned. The Coaches Show will be back after these messages.
The Aggie Athletic Foundation is the official fundraising arm for North Carolina A&T Athletics. By making an investment in athletics, you're providing resources that leverage our ability to recruit highly motivated student athletes who train and compete at the highest level of Division I athletics. For more information about this campaign and the AAF, please call 336-285-3063 or visit our website at aggieboosters.com. Fans, be sure to visit longtime North Carolina A&T sponsor Smitty's McDonald's. 3 locations in Greensboro, including Summit Avenue, right near campus. Stop by or use your favorite delivery app today.
I have seen significant changes in my skin. Good Molecules is everything.
My skin looks flawless. My skin is just glowing, and who doesn't want that?
Good Molecules made an amazing difference in my skin. My skin has glowed up completely.
Hyperpigmentation cleared up
a lot. My skin tone is a lot smoother.
I've truly seen a difference in my skin. Now I have confidence and now I'm glowing.
I feel confident in my skin once again, thanks to Good Molecules.
Welcome back to the show.
For Gymnasium, it's the A&T Men's Basketball Coaches Show with the head coach, Monte Ross. I'm Spencer Turkin, the voice of North Carolina A&T Men's Basketball. And I'm now joined by the big man, Nikos Hii, the Greek god of East Thessaloniki. Nikos, how are you? Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm good.
So I've got to ask, growing up, did you study much Greek mythology? Was that part of your studies when you were growing up back home?
Yeah, in Greece, they teach us Greek mythology.
Okay.
It's part of the curriculum in Greece.
Okay.
So we really get to know about Greek history and Greek mythology and all that type of stuff.
So do you have a favorite Greek god or a favorite story from mythology?
Probably Zeus.
Zeus? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't know. I just like his swag and the whole thing about the thunder. And
okay.
When I was a little kid, I was just like, this was the god that I liked.
Okay. Because I took a trip to Greece. I went to the Acropolis of Athens, and I got to hear all the stories of Nike Athena and all the other gods that were up there, and very interesting stuff. So I was always curious to know what your thoughts were. But back home, obviously, basketball has become more and more of a popular sport. When did you begin playing basketball, and how did you get into it?
The first time that I played basketball was when I was 5 or 6 years old, and that was because my dad used to play basketball when he was young. He didn't play for a team or he didn't play professionally, but till this day, he gonna open the TV and he gonna watch basketball.
Okay.
Like in his free time, or sometimes he might go to my old club, my old team, and he go watch their games, or he just a fan of the sport.
Okay.
And he just passed it down to me. So that's the reason.
So I saw maybe it was a few months ago, maybe a few weeks ago, there were actually some outdoor basketball games, some professional games that were played at the original Olympic Stadium. Did you see some of those games?
That was an exhibition game against Panathinaikos.
Okay.
One of the biggest Greek clubs. They played another Serbian club, and I think they played another team, but I don't remember which one. And yeah, that was an exhibition game. Yeah.
So that was at the original Olympic Stadium.
The first ever. Yeah.
Thousands of people outside on this cold concrete.
More than 40,000.
It was quite the sight.
Yeah.
When you think about Greece as a whole and coming overseas to come play college basketball, when was this something that you decided that you wanted to do, to come to the United States to play basketball?
I think my sophomore or my junior year in high school, that's when I really started finding out about college basketball, because I didn't know that was a thing, that you can go to college in the United States and play basketball there and get a scholarship or study for free. So when I was around 14, 15 years old, pretty much, and from that point, it just became my dream.
So you end up getting recruited by a few different schools. You choose A&T. What drew you to North Carolina A&T, and how has your experience been so far?
What drew me, it was definitely the coaching staff and the coaches. They just believed in me, and they made me realize that when I leave A&T, I'm going to be a better player. Like, I'm going to improve as much as I can and as much as I want to, because it's not only on them, it's on me too. And that was pretty much the reason. And the second part of the question, I love it here. I love it. It might sound a little out of pocket, but there are no black people in Greece, so it was a shock for me when I first came here, but I truly love it. It's a great experience, and I feel blessed to be here.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you feel like coming to the United States, coming to study here, and being on an HBCU campus that you've been able to learn a lot about Greensboro, about what HBCUs are and what they contribute to society as a whole?
100%, yeah. And I really love the culture and the whole HBCU and A&T thing. I just love it. This year was the first time that I actually experienced Jiho, because last year we had an away game in Pittsburgh. So this year it was my first homecoming here. So I love it even more.
I think you and about everybody else who experiences their first GHO, and they just keep coming back. It seems to continue to grow.
I will.
Have you had an opportunity to cook your teammates a traditional Greek meal yet?
Not yet.
What would you cook them if you could?
I don't cook, so
No cooking. Okay. What's your
I
favorite
gotta learn how to
traditional
cook.
Greek meal though?
probably gyros.
Okay.
Yeah, people call it gyros, gyros. Yeah. Probably that.
Okay. Have you found a spot here in town that you like yet, or
Not
nothing?
really.
Not
It's
yet.
not gonna be like home.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. So far this season, you've been really consistent, especially with your rebounding. Do you feel like your game has taken that next step as you continue to grow? And what do you think you've worked on the most that has allowed you to have some success early on here?
I think I've definitely improved as a player, but I gotta keep getting better. I gotta keep improving. I gotta keep getting in the gym, getting shots up, lifting weights. So you talked about rebounding. I feel like getting in the gym and lifting weights and getting stronger definitely has helped me a lot in this part of the game. But I'm still not where I want to be for this season, for my career, So I got to keep doing what I'm doing.
What has it been like to be on a team now with a fellow countryman in Stratos Kaliantzis? You were able to help bring him in. He's someone that you've played FIBA ball with back home. So what is it like to have him on your college team now?
My whole life, I've been playing against him. So this year is the first time that I'm actually on a team with him, and we play like teammates. And not only on the court, but in my life, he just brings home. He just brings Greece here, and it's just amazing. So I feel blessed to have a teammate and a brother that is from the same country. And
How important is that for both of you? You're very far away from home. Your families are not here. How important is that for you two to have each other as you work through the season and continue to get better and continue to play more? Because now, with the certain circumstances that the team is facing, you two are going to be key pieces at the 5 position.
Yeah, he's really important for me, for the team, because I told you, he brings home. He reminds me of my people. I'm talking in Greek.
Yeah.
That's a big part, because last year, I never spoke Greek for 10 months, pretty much, except for the time that my parents were here. So I'm speaking Greek every day. We know we have a lot of friends in common back in Greece, so we have a lot of stuff to talk about. So it's just great. And on the court, of course, like we just, I don't know, he just helps me be the best version of myself.
As A&T continues to move through with the season, what's something that you're hoping to improve on and continue to help you take your game to the next level?
Definitely my shooting. I got to start shooting the ball more, actually shooting the ball, shooting the 3 or mid-range. And I got to work on my free throws. I feel like 100%. And I just got to be a good teammate.
Nikos, we appreciate the time. Thanks for coming out today. Good luck to you and the Aggies tomorrow against UNCG, and we'll be sure to catch up with you later in the season.
Thank you.
Next up, it's assistant coach Dorian Long. That's next right here on the A&T Men's Basketball Coaches Show.
Stay tuned. The Coaches Show will be back after these messages.
Fans, be sure to visit longtime North Carolina A&T sponsor Smitty's McDonald's. 3 locations in Greensboro, including Summit Avenue, right near campus. Stop by or use your favorite delivery app today.
Good morning, America. Today, thousands of our teammates will make and deliver over 300 of the world's best brands and flavors, locally, in towns large and small. From the heartland to the coast, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling. Share passion and a purpose. We love to refresh and serve our communities. We're Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
Using these type of cleansers could be damaging and stripping your skin. I use new Olay cleansing melts every day. Just soak, activate, and wash to clean, tone, and refresh. That's a 3 times better clean. Olay.
The Aggie Athletic Foundation is the official fundraising arm for North Carolina A&T Athletics. By making an investment in athletics, you're providing resources that leverage our ability to recruit highly motivated student athletes who train and compete at the highest level of Division I athletics. For more information about this campaign and the AAF, please call 336-285-3063 or visit our website at aggieboosters.com.
Welcome back to the show.
Back out to more gymnasium. The A&T men's basketball coaches show with the head coach Monte Ross continues here. Spencer Turkin now joined by assistant coach Dorian Long as we continue on with our show and get ready for UNCG tomorrow night. Coach, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Spence. I appreciate you having me.
Coach, so here in Aggie Land now for a couple seasons, what has your experience been like here on the east side of Greensboro?
Well, I tell all my family back in Philadelphia, I don't think I'm coming back.
You're starting to sound like Nikos.
No, it's been a uniquely personable experience from the community of Greensboro itself to our community here at A&T. Everybody's welcoming. Again, it's genuine, it's real, and I've been having a blast with our coaching staff, our guys, with faculty, staff, the student body. It's been so much fun in our first year and a half basically here so far.
So let's dive into the staff a little bit because I'm not around every day, but
Sure.
I pop my head in time to time. It seems like this staff, more so than a lot of others, there's a ton of work being done. You guys come in early, you're there late, but I mean, you guys know how to have some fun too. This is a staff that knows when to enjoy themselves. However, also a staff that knows when to flip the switch and to make it all about basketball. So, what is it like to be a member of Coach Ross's staff?
It's never a dull moment. We like.
Well, Ricky Moore's on staff, so there's no question.
It's a toss-up between Ricky Moore and Jeff Rafferty, to be
No doubt.
honest with you. But I mean, you just said it. Like when it's time to work, we put our heads down, put our hard hats on, we get to work. And when it's time to lay back and laugh, joke a little bit, we know how to do that as well. I've been a part of a few different rebuilds, and it starts with a staff. And I think Coach Ross, Jeff Rafferty did a heck of a job putting this staff together. Staff chemistry is important, you know what I mean? And not that you're always going to agree, but just that chemistry is important. And, the players take on our personality. They take on our head coach's personality. So same thing for them. They see us laughing and joking and the humane side of us, and, they bring the same thing to the table. But when it's time to go to work, they know how to do that too.
You mentioned something important, that it's not just about all agreeing. It's got to be trust there.
Sure.
That when someone is the no guy, that they're going to hear out the argument as to why, and then maybe actually consider it too, and maybe view a defense a different way or an offensive game plan another way.
No question. We're always bouncing things off of each other. And, Coach Ross does a great job empowering us to speak up and not always feel like we have to agree. But, whether it's my scout or Ricky's scout, we're always bouncing stuff off of each other and, coming up with new ideas and all that kind of thing.
So for the folks at home, when Coach is talking about a scout, he's talking about the preparation that goes into getting ready for a game. So what do you do to actually work from start to finish for your scouts? Can you take the fans at home through what would go into a typical scout for you?
Absolutely. You try to, for me personally, I try to watch the last 5 to 6 games of our opponent, and I'm just, going through every little detail, trying to find advantages for us, what works for us, what did other teams do that was successful against that particular team, how they're going to defend us, what can we run that would be useful for us in that particular game. And, for the guys, you want to make it as simplistic as possible because they're not putting in as much time as you are. So, obviously as an assistant, watching your opponent, you get to do that over a course of several days. Well, the guys, they only really get 2 days, right? And I give them all the credit in the world. Like, they are always attentive and locked in to what we're showing them, whether it's personnel-driven, right, or, what kind of offense or defensive scheme that the other team's trying to do. And, again, you want to be as simplistic as you can for your guys and make it easy for them because, again, not only do they only have 2 days, but it's game's fast. So, again, you just want to make it as simplistic as you can for these guys and taking them through the preparation for the next opponent.
Now, part of your job is obviously getting the team ready for games, but another portion of it is going out and recruiting future Aggies and trying to build the program up. So what does that portion of your job look like? And has that changed now that you have to report into your general manager, not just about scholarships, but for potential NIL money?
Recruiting is, I will say, it's my 17th season. Recruiting is a lot different from when I first started when I was younger. But for me, it always comes down to, obviously the player, you want them to be talented for sure. But for me, do they fit my head coach and do they fit the school? And that's, to me, super important because they might love me going through the recruiting process and what I'm telling them and all that kind of thing, but they're playing for Monte Ross. They are living at North Carolina A&T. So those two things, for me, comes first. They have to be able to fit the school and fit the style of our program under our head coach.
So when you're recruiting from high school, JUCO, Division I transfer portal, are you looking for the same things? Are there different things that you're looking for out of each different type of potential student athlete? What does that all look like these days with all these different pools of talent that you can go dive into?
You got prep schools, JUCOs. So for us, it just depends on our needs. And that's another thing that we'll meet as a staff frequently about. And we don't always disagree, you know what I mean? But, it really just comes down to our needs. And in today's game, you got the transfer portal, so you always want to have a scholarship for the portal. You still got junior colleges, right? And obviously, you still got high school kids. Yeah. And we're not one of those programs that we're just saying strictly transfers. We're not going to do it that way for sure. So for us, it's, where's the talent? What do we need? And, who fits us the best?
So you're a Philly guy. Coach Ross is a Philly guy. When did your paths first cross? And how did you get to know Coach Ross enough that he wanted to bring you on staff here at A&T?
I was young, man. And Coach may not even remember this. I was at a small school, my alma mater, actually, Newman University, which was, 25 minutes, 30 minutes down the road from the University of Delaware, where he was the head coach of at the time. So I was able to take a tour and come see their new facilities at the time. Again, I was young. It's like my second year in the business. So I got to know him then. And then just knowing my history of the Big Five and St. Joe's, which was where I interned at under Phil Martelli, just knowing what he was a part of when he was an assistant coach under Phil Martelli at St. Joe's University and the magical run that they had and the good teams that they had. So I always knew Coach Ross and some of my mentors and older people around me who were a lot of them responsible for my career, they all spoke extremely highly of Coach Ross. So, I think our paths really crossed when I was at Lincoln University and he would see me on the road recruiting and whatnot. And once he got this opportunity, it just made sense, right? An HBCU, the biggest HBCU at that. And Monte Ross is the head coach. It just made sense for me.
So, Coach, one last quick question for you. I know Coach has his preference, but you're a Philly guy, he's a Philly guy. Where's the best cheesesteak for somebody to go get if our donors and AAF folks are heading up to Philly to go catch one of our teams at Drexel?
Oh man, you might have to go to break, man, while I narrow my list down. There's so many good spots. It really is. You got Ish Kabibbles on South Street. You got Jim Steaks. You got Larry's right across from where Coach had his magical run at St. Joe's at. So it's a lot of spots. You just got to come down to the city and ask anybody, to be honest with you.
All right, so Coach just gave everybody enough spots for the entire road trip when they come to go play Drexel when A&T is in town. Coach, we appreciate the time. Best of luck to you and the Aggies tomorrow against UNCG, and we'll definitely catch up with you a little bit later on the season.
Spence, thanks for having me, man.
Of course. We'll continue on here on the A&T Men's Basketball Coaches Show. After these messages, we've got the head man, Monte Ross, rejoining us.
Stay tuned. The Coaches Show will be back after these messages.
Using these type of cleansers could be damaging and stripping your skin. I use new Olay cleansing melts every day. Just soak, activate, and wash to clean, tone, and refresh. That's a 3 times better clean. Olay.
6,000 universities. Why choose North Carolina A&T? We graduate more African American students in engineering, journalism, liberal arts, and agriculture than any other campus anywhere, period. Our grads earn more right out of school than all but one other UNC system peer. And 96% of Aggie alums say they wish they can do it all over again. Can you feel the pride? You will. A&T. Always doing, never done.
Good morning, America. Today, thousands of our teammates will make and deliver over 300 of the world's best brands and flavors, locally, in towns large and small. From the heartland to the coast, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling. To show passion and a purpose, we love to refresh and serve our communities. We are Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
Vice President Kamala Harris is bringing the Fight for Our Freedoms college tour to North Carolina A&T State University today.
Why A&T specifically?
The history and legacy of a people is 400 years of oppression.
We have always been able to adjust and adapt to whatever is thrown at us. And I think that just speaks to the resilience of our community.
You did it, Aggies!
Welcome back to the show.
To more Jim as we get set to wrap things up here on the A&T Men's Basketball Coaches Show. Spencer Turkin, the voice of North Carolina A&T Men's Basketball with you, rejoined by the head man, Monte Ross, as we come down the stretch in non-conference play. Coach, as you look at the schedule that you built with your staff to finish up this first phase of the season, what is going through your mind? You've got some big-time ball games that are coming up, most notably a trip to Virginia Tech, a trip to the University of Arkansas, and then you've also got a nationally televised game against the team down the road. And tomorrow, you're hosting UNCG. I mean, that's a pretty stacked slate.
Well, what's going through my mind is I must be nuts. I must be absolutely out of my mind.
That is what you said last year about your non-conference schedule, too.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I haven't gotten any smarter. This slate that we have coming up it's a bear. It's really a bear. And believe it or not, you might not have even mentioned the best team that we're going to face, which is Liberty. Oh, my gosh, they're good. They are good. So, with that being said, our goal every year is to really test ourselves, try to put ourselves in any different situation and scenario that we can think of, playing these road games, difficult road games. We want to be prepared for CAA play. That's the goal. And this schedule will surely do that, especially this gauntlet that we have coming up. It's my job to navigate us through it. Win or lose, we have to improve. We have to get better. I often told the guys last year, and I stated it to them this year, that we have to be committed to the process without being emotionally attached to the results. When you become emotionally attached to the results, then you stop working. Because if you win, you think you've arrived. If you lose, you think it's the worst thing in the world. What has to happen is we have to be committed to the process of working and continue to work and continue to get better, because if we play this same non-conference schedule and went 13-0, but we didn't improve and we get into CAA play and lay an egg, those 13 wins aren't going to mean a thing. They're not going to mean a thing. So what we have to do is continue to work through this difficult stretch, and continue to get better. And the exciting thing for me is we're getting better. I really love the way that we're practicing, and we actually haven't played as well as we've been practicing. That's going to come. That's going to come, because every team that I've ever coached, as long as you continue to practice a certain way, you get better. So we're getting better. It hasn't manifested itself on the court just yet. And that's even with us being 3-5. I still haven't felt like we played up to our potential or played the way that we're going to play with the consistency that we're going to be playing with. We just haven't done it yet. But what excites me is that we are. We are going to get there. We are going to do it. We showed the team some little things that we have to get better, and we've been working on it the last couple of days. And I'm excited to see it in play tomorrow against UNCG, and just continue to work. I used to be one of those guys that, you listen to certain guys say this and say, like Nick Saban. Nick Saban always talks about the journey. It's not the destination, it's the journey. And I always should be like, come on, man. But it's real. Yeah. If you focus on the journey and not the destination, and we break it down to our guys in terms of, hey, let's win the next play. We used to say, look, win the game. Okay, then we reduced it to let's win the first half or win the second half. And then we started reducing it to let's win. There are 5 4-minute segments of each half. Let's win more 4-minute segments than we lose. And then we put ourselves in great situations, great position to win the ball game. Reduce it down to even more. When we get closer to league play, we start to reduce it to let's win this next play that's in front of us. What is it that you have to do individually? What is your assignment that will help us collectively as a team win this play, win this possession that's right here in front of us? And it just, what it will do, what it does is it helps the player stay focused and stay in the moment. Keep your feet grounded, stay in the moment, and don't let your mind wander. And it's easy here to let your mind wander because our fan support is so tremendous. Like our students have been absolutely fabulous. Yeah. Fabulous. So it's easy to walk out there and see all those people and become awed and just start looking up and, but if you're staying in the moment, then you worry about what's in between those lines. Enjoy the atmosphere, but execute what you need to in between those lines.
There'll be a really cool road atmosphere when we go to University of Arkansas December 21st, but the real storyline of that game is one of your walk-ons, Jordan Martin. His father is actually on the staff at the University of Arkansas and is a key part of what they do.
Yes. And so I told his name is Chucky. Yep. And I knew Chucky before Jordan was born. So I told Chucky, look, we have to get Jordan into the game. There's only one of 2 ways that he's going to get in the game. I don't like one of the ways. The other way is for us to be up 20 and we get him into the game.
We might not be invited back if that happens.
That's okay. I don't want to go back.
The check might bounce on the way home too, but we'll see.
But that is pretty unique. It's pretty unique to have your father on the other bench and he's seeing his son's team out there playing. Calipari. John Calipari, the head coach at Arkansas, and I have been friends for a while through Bruiser Flint, who's one of his assistants. Bruiser and I grew up together, and Bruiser's been his longtime assistant. And I'm going to enjoy telling him before the game. I'll tell you what my conversation is going to be with him before the game. Like, Cal, this is the first time that since I can't even remember, since you've probably been coaching, that I won't be cheering for your team tonight. I'll be cheering for my own against you, hoping that you lose. This will be the first time since you've started coaching. So it's some unique relationships that'll be there, and it'll be fun. You have Ryan Forrest, who's from Arkansas. You have Landon Glasper, who's from Arkansas. Landon grew up, the high school that he went to is basically attached to the university. They're separated by like a parking lot or something like that. So it'll be pretty nice and pretty unique.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the conversations on the sideline through my microphones for that game. I think they're going to be.
You don't ever hear anything that I say on the court.
I don't hear a word.
Okay, great.
I don't hear a single word that comes out of yours or Raf's mouth. Not a word. Coach, nationally televised ball game against some school from about 40 minutes down the road. the thoughts on being able to showcase what HBCUs are all about on national television, CBS coming to the Corbett Sports Center to see what arguably one of the best home court advantages in college basketball really is.
Well, first off, kudos, and I want to give credit to LeVar Moton and Lavelle Moton and their team and their administration, because we're going to play every year now. Yeah. At our place, next year at their place. They agreed to play back-to-back years at our place so that this could happen and we could be on CBS, on national television. We thought, as a university, as administration, as a team, as a program, that it was too big of an opportunity to pass up. Fortunately for us, they felt the same way. To be able, again, like you said, this is the rabbit ears. This rabbit ear station. You don't need cable for this. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to be on national
in every house
CBS.
In the country.
Yes, everybody can get it. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal for our brand at North Carolina A&T, Aggies, and like you said, showing what that home court advantage is all about. So I'm really excited about it. It's a doubleheader. We're at 2:00, and then the second game at 4:00 is going to be Howard is traveling to Hampton to play in the 4:00. So a national doubleheader on CBS. I think it's a wonderful thing that CBS did approach us about, and I'm truly, truly excited about it. One of the things that we have to do, our students are on break, so we got to get some of them to come back. We got to get, every season ticket holder to go grab 2 other people from the neighborhood, from the church, from wherever. We got to pack that place. We have to make it truly show great on CBS. And it's not like we're putting on a show or putting on airs. It's normal. It's just normal, right? What we do, what we have. It's just that the students will be on break, so it just won't be as it normally is. So we just got to find any and everybody from wherever to come and be a part of it.
Coach, before we wrap up, UNCG, crosstown rival, coming to town tomorrow. They'll be on the east side. This game is one that there's a lot of bragging rights on the line here in the city. What does it mean to coach in this thing, and what are you expecting out of your squad as you try and take down the Spartans tomorrow?
Well, what's interesting, as I've been here at A&T, because of A&T's reputation, because of Aggie pride, there are a lot of rivalries that we have. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's neat. That's neat. You don't get that every place. Like when I was at Delaware, a big rivalry was Drexel. That was it. Right. Now, being here at A&T, Central is huger than huge. UNCG is huger than huge. Any HBCU you play, especially from the old MEAC, is huger than huge. Yeah. So it's neat. It's fun. I love it. And, playing UNCG tomorrow is another huge game for bragging rights, East versus West, all those types of things. So as a coach, you really enjoy playing in games and playing in atmospheres like that. We know how big of a game it is. We understand that we have to execute. It's about us executing offensively and defensively. And again, not getting caught up in the hoopla. It's okay for me to talk about it, for you to talk about it on air, on radio, television, all that kind of stuff. But the players have to stay locked in and focused on what the task is at hand. And if we do that, they're good, though. They're a good team. Their record doesn't reflect how good they truly are. But, I like to think our record doesn't reflect how good, we are either. So it's going to be a good game. We'll experience some unique things tomorrow.
And on that note, we'll leave it on the cliffhanger. I do just want to point out that you did not mention your alma mater when you were talking about the rivals. So you're a smart guy for leaving them out of that conversation.
Yeah, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm smart enough.
We appreciate everybody coming out to More Gym tonight to join us for the first A&T Men's Basketball Coaches Show with the head man, Monte Ross. We're excited to bring this to you a few more times this season. And you should also make sure that you check out the A&T Women's Basketball Coaches Show with Terrell Robinson. He's got his own season of coaches shows that has kicked off as well. So we're excited to get these going. Coach, good luck to you and the Aggies. A lot of tough games coming up here. We'll be sure to chat with you more on Flow Sports as well as the Aggie Sports Network. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thanks for doing it. Thanks for having me.
That'll do it for us here tonight at More Gym. This has been the A&T Men's Basketball Coaches Show. We'll talk to you soon. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, like and follow us on Facebook.